Fox News propagandist Maria Bartiromo has cooked up a new, completely insane Trump COVID conspiracy theory. I'm going to play it for you. This is one that doesn't even pass the sniff test. It doesn't pass the motive test. It doesn't pass the common sense test. It doesn't pass the believe me, I really don't have MAGA brainworms test. There's a lot of tests, quite frankly, that this one fails. The idea is that China released the virus on purpose in order to hurt Trump and I guess to help Biden. It's so hard to know what they're even talking about. Let's listen to it and then we will discuss it.
I mean, is there a chance that China released this virus on America intentionally? Disrupt the country, get Donald Trump out, get your man in there, Joe Biden, and then cover it up?
Well, they certainly didn't try to protect America, did they? I mean, so whether it was intentional or accidental, they seem to be aware of it. And as I recall, and I could be wrong on this, President Xi was telling Donald Trump, everything's okay. And Donald Trump was repeating what President Xi said. Now Democrats call President Trump a liar, but it seems that he was just repeating what President Xi said. And obviously it was more dangerous.
Now, first and foremost, does someone who is strong and tough on China and skeptical of China, like Trump claims to be, does simply repeating what China tells you fit with the idea that you are strong and tough on China? It doesn't. But there are so many reasons why this conspiracy doesn't work. And it's a common one. When Luke Beasley goes to the Trump rallies, you hear versions of this conspiracy theory. First of all, this conspiracy theory ignores the fact that COVID was devastating for China. Arguably, COVID was even more economically destructive to China than the United States, at least as destructive, if not more destructive. So if you're trying to get ahead and get one over on the United States, releasing a virus that hurts you as much as or more than your adversary doesn't make a lot of sense. But here's the more important aspect to this. This conspiracy theory only works if Trump fails to deal with COVID effectively. What do I mean by that? In other words, if Trump is competent and Trump is strong and Trump is smart and all these different things, doing this wouldn't work because by dealing with COVID appropriately, Trump would easily get reelected. As I've said before, if Trump had dealt with COVID well from the beginning, he would have been reelected. It was a really close election at the end of the day, not in terms of the popular vote, but in terms of the Electoral College. The margin that Joe Biden had, which was a healthy margin, was based on really small margins of victory in a handful of key states. If Trump handles COVID well, and he says, I'm going to be the most patriotic and we're all going to get together. This is our moment. We're going to have MAGA masks and everybody's going to do this, that, the other thing. If the perception was that Trump handled it well the way Jacinda Ardern did in New Zealand or other leaders, Trump gets reelected. So the conspiracy theory only even ostensibly functions if we all agree Trump would inevitably fail in terms of the response to COVID. If Trump is competent, this doesn't work. And then again, lastly, on the destructive nature thing, 6.9 million people have died from COVID by one count. We'll just use this number, okay? Even if the number is not exactly right. 6.9 million people have died from COVID. Only 1.18 million were in the United States. So China targeted the US and Trump with a virus that killed 1.18 million in the US, but 5.7 million in other countries, including an insane number of people in China. It's a very dumb way to try to hurt Donald Trump that really doesn't pass the sniff test. So there it is. Maria Bartiromo, apparently never finding a conspiracy theory she doesn't like or doesn't believe, but it is another one that fails even the most basic questions of plausibility and believability. But they love this stuff on Fox News. Anxiety and depression are mental health challenges that affect millions of Americans. 32% of American adults have reported symptoms of anxiety or depression, but finding the right treatment can be tough. You might have tried things already, might have not been enough, might have not been the right fit. Maybe medications you tried had side effects you didn't like. There is an alternative treatment for anxiety and depression that's shown promising results for many, and that's ketamine therapy. Our sponsor, MindBloom, is a leading provider of at-home ketamine therapy. They have a team of licensed doctors and therapists who guide you through the process. Ketamine therapy is based on scientific research that shows it's generally safe and well tolerated without many of the side effects of some other traditional medications. 89% of MindBloom patients report improvements in anxiety or depression after just 2 sessions. And MindBloom has a special offer for my audience. You can get $100 off your first 6-session program by going to mindbloom.com/Pacman and using the code Pacman. The link is in the description.